Hi, it's Lindsay and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a tutorial or a craft with me. We are going to be making some December daily journals. And if you're not familiar with what a December daily journal is, it's a journal that you use through the month of December. You can use it to journal the daily things that you do, the shopping lists for Christmas, the menus, recipes, pictures, memories. And we're going to be making two simple December daily journals today. This video is sponsored by AlphabetStore on Etsy, and I'm going to be using her papers for the most part. So I have her paper, two paper pads here. I printed them on my borderless Epson Workforce printer, and I like how there's no white border on it, so ready to go. And I already have it separated here into pages for two journals. So I have like a vintage Christmas papers that she designed, and then on the other side she also designed these beautiful, they're like burgundy and gold type pages that I printed on the other side. So I have 6 pages in each pile. And I believe that there's even more. I didn't even use all of the papers in the pack that she sent me. But we're going to be making 2 journals pretty much at the same time. Oh, here's the rest of the papers. I'm not using them in these journals because they did not print on the back, or my printer messed them up or something like that. But I wanted to show you that there were more designs still, and I'm setting these aside because I'm going to be using bits and pieces of them in a custom journal, custom Christmas traditional journal that I'm going to be making here soon. So I'm just setting that aside, and I can still use most of that. So we are going to start off with the cover. So let's just set these aside. And I just took 2 different 12 by 12 paper sheets that I had in my stash. They're double-sided. That makes it really easy because we can just cut it down to the size that we want, fold it in half, and we are ready to go. So I'm going to show you how I cut these 12 by 12s down really fast, really quick and easy, not much thought process. So we know that it is 12 by 12. We're not including the strip. So I like to do a 9 by 6 journal, but with a little bit of a twist. So instead of, I'm going to put this to, normally I would put this to the 9, and then I would trim. And then that would be 9 by 12, which is 9 by 6 when you fold it in half. But I've noticed that if you're working with 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, this cover is just a little too big for that. So I just bump it down to 2 little marks, so about a 1/4 inch or so. And then I just cut that strip off, set it aside, and this would be 12, but I'm just gonna cut off about a 1/4 inch. It just makes the cover fit the pages just a little better. All right, so now we have both of our covers. We just have to decide which side we want as the cover and which side as the inside. And I'm going to put, just go like this, it doesn't matter. Cover 1 and cover 2. And it's nice to make 2 at the same time sometimes because you can get 2 done very similar in less time. They're great for gifts. Maybe you wanted to make a December daily for yourself, but then you also wanted to send one to a pen pal or give one to your daughter or a friend or something like that. I am using Colorworks pigment ink in gold. It just gives a little bit of a golden edge, and I love that for Christmas. And I'm just doing front and back, just kind of swiping it over to give a messy inked golden edge. You could use, you don't have to use gold, you can use black, you can use brown, you can use whatever inks you normally do, or just leave the inking off altogether. All right, so we have 2 covers now. All right, now we're going to decorate the covers. And what I have done is printed off 2 vintage book covers. These are just old book covers that are scans. This one says Merry Christmas ABC, and this says The Night Before Christmas. And I am going to put these up on my Facebook page, on my Facebook group. Nevermore Creations, Junk Journals and Friends. I'm going to have them on there as a freebie. So you can grab those and put them on your Christmas journal if you'd like. I am just going to cut them out and put one on each book. Doesn't really matter which one they go on, just whatever one you think they look the best on. You can use any images, any Christmas images you want. If you have a Christmas book, you can cut a page out. If you have Christmas project life cards, those work wonderfully. Or, you know, maybe a family Christmas picture or something like that would also look great. I'm going to grab my ink again. Here's my ink. And just ink up the edges. This is a very, very simple tutorial. You can grab your sewing machine. You can do more layering. This is just a basic, like, beginner's December daily. When you want to, whoop, I am knocking my camera. When you want to make something that looks really nice, but you don't want it too difficult. All right, we're just going to keep this super simple. Grab a glue stick. This is an extra strength Elmer's glue stick. And since I'm not sewing, I'm going to make sure that I get to the edges really well and make sure that it is covered in the glue stick. Go over it a couple times and then position it right where I want it. And do the same on this one. And you can have as many of these going at once as you want. I would suggest that you make a list of everybody that you want to make one for. Or if you're an Etsy shop owner and you are making these to sell, then figure out how many you want to make and just start the assembly process. Like, instead of doing 2 covers, maybe you would do, you know, 4 or 10. Okay. And now I pulled out these Christmas tree stickers and I'm trying to decide if I want them on the cover or if I want to just keep it really, really plain. This edge didn't get glued down very well. There we go. All right. I still don't know if I want to use these. I do like that there. And then if you hear screaming in the background, my boys are happily playing with their toys. Kind of like that there. It's like standing on the table. Okay, so there's our simple covers. Now we are going to build the signature or the group of pages that is going inside. So here's our 2 stacks of the pages from AlphabetStore. I do really recommend that you go over to her shop. The link is in the description box below. She has lots of different paper packs. Makes it really easy to pick something that you like and that you want to make into a journal without having to go to a craft store. Just use your printer right at home. So I'm just going to fold all of them in half to form the pages. This is going to be a 60-page journal because that's about 2 pages worth a day for decorating or writing on or whatever. So there's one, and then, so if you are doing a 60-page journal, you are going to need 15 sheets of paper because when you fold it in half, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, and 15 times 4 is 60. So that's how we come up with the page numbers. If you wanted a 40-page journal, you would need 10 sheets. So this process gets a little tedious when you're doing multiple journals, but you're still saving time because you're just doing the same thing and you don't have to go hunting for something else and then come back to it. There we go. So those are the pattern papers. Now I have some coffee dyed papers. And if you're needing coffee dyed papers for making your Christmas presents or your Christmas journals, but either you don't like coffee dyeing or you don't have the space to do it or the time to do it, I do sell coffee dyed paper bundles in my shop. I sell this traditional, just this basic coffee dyed. And then I also have like a special Christmas bundle that is in reds and greens. That's not actually coffee dyed. It's using inks and stuff to dye it. So again, we're just folding all these in half. And then we're going to split them up between the two journals. I just wanted to go with the basic coffee dyed because I thought it looked really vintage, and I thought it went really, really well with these vintage images on these papers from the Alphabet Store. Okay, so we're just going to make 2 piles here. And put those there. And now we need a few other type pages. I have a few Christmas book pages that I'm going to put in there. I have some from a cross-stitch book, and this is the Christmas section of a cross-stitch book. So I'm going to add one of those to each pile. And then I have a vintage index page from a Christmas like craft book. And I thought that was really neat because it has like mobiles, angel, bell, bird, Christmas card, Christmas tree, you know, holly and pewter arrangement, house plants, jewelry, earrings, pins. It's just all Christmas things, and I thought that would be really neat maybe to do some collaging on or something like that. And then I have some vintage book pages from this, I think it's the 60s, and these are Christmas. This is God Bless Us Everyone from A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, and Santa's Record Book, a little poem by Ben Sweeney. And then just to add something different, hopefully I have 2 doilies here. That was the plan. Yep. I have some larger round doilies, and I'm just going to fold that in half and also make 1 page for each journal out of that. If you don't have doilies, you could use anything. Grab another book page, another piece of coffee dyed paper or an envelope or whatever. Okay, so now we are going to form our signature. I like to look at the cover while I start this because when we open it up, this is going to be the inside and then the signature will sit in the middle. So I want to find one that I think looks good when you open it up. Excuse me. And I'm going to start with this one because of the little holly. I think that's really cute. And then from there, there's no science on this. It's just whatever you like. I like to, whoa, I am so bumping my camera. Let's see, there we go. I like to mix it up just a little bit and not put too many of the same thing next to each other, but sometimes I do that just because I want to. So there is really no right or wrong way when you are doing this. Just enjoy yourself. Don't overthink it. And a really easy formula, if you're not sure, is just do patterned, coffee dyed, and that is a really simple way to do it as well. Then we are going to just slip it right in the cover and set it aside while we build the second signature for our second book. So let's look at the cover again. We have Christmas ornaments on the inside. I'm just looking through the pages here. And I'm going to start with this one. It's kind of therapeutic just putting these together and watching your book get built right before your eyes. And we have a complete signature. The next step is to go grab a couple paper clips. So I have a handful of different size clips here. It doesn't matter what size paper clips you have at all. Just grab whatever you have available and easy to grab. So I'm just making sure that it is lined up in the cover as best as I can get it. And then grab some paper clips and just kind of clip around the edges to hold the pages in there, because we're going to do a pamphlet stitch to sew these in. And if you start poking holes in the paper and sewing without the papers being secured, they will go everywhere. So we're just going to add a couple of those and grab something sharp and pointy. I have an awl here with a sharp pointy tip. If you don't have something like this, then maybe a push pin would work. But I go somewhere in the middle and press through till I see it come through the other side, and then somewhere near the top the same thing, and about the same distance here. I do not measure. You can measure if you're OCD and you like to do that. I just eyeball it. You have to remember that we're making junk journals, or you know, there's no perfection to these, so I don't like to try to overthink it. So I have some vintage twine here that I got from Steph over at Above Par Crafts. This is my favorite vintage twine. I love this for binding journals, and you can visit her shop. There is a link in the description box below along with a coupon code. So I am just going to do a pamphlet stitch. I've shown this before, but you go in and then in this way. Back through the middle. And then through the last hole. And then you're just going to tie a secure knot. And then once you have your secure knot, you can just trim as much of the twine down as you want to and remove the paper clips. Let's go over to our next one and do the same thing. I thought also doing 2 of these on the video would help to reinforce the process. If you're new to this, you get to see it twice in one video instead of having to rewind and watch it over again. You can just see it again with a different journal. It might be a little more interesting. Again, I'm just going to clip these pages in so that they don't slip when I'm sewing. And then I'm going to grab my awl again. Again, 1 hole in the middle and a hole on either end. Okay, I'm going to get some more twine. And my needle. Threading, it's not always the easiest thing. Okay, so we start in the inside of the book. Leave a tail hanging. And then back in. Back through the middle. And up through the top. Oops, I got the end stuck in there somewhere. And then a secure knot. There we go. Scissors to trim. And there we go. Now this video is not about decorating. You can do that if you want to. This is just about making a blank December daily so that you can get started or on making these for gifts or for yourself. So this is very similar to what I make, or pretty much exactly how I do my $10 junk journals. Very similar to that I have for sale as well. So I'm actually going to put both of these in my shop as $10 journals. So if anybody wants one of these, then you can just click the link below and purchase that, because I don't need to make myself a December daily this year. I still have one if I have the time to actually do one. I have a blank Christmas journal. So beautiful and elegant. So as you're decorating, you know, you might add stamps, you might add photos, stickers, journaling, and then these pages are beautiful for matting a photo or just leaving if you love to look at the vintage Christmas. So beautiful. And on my $10 journals, I normally add like a little pocket or something. These are just as is, no extra frills or anything like that. And then there's this one, so cute, very similar, beautiful vintage feel. So thank you, AlphabetStore, for sponsoring this video. I hope you all check out her shop. And I hope you get these Christmas ones in particular, because they are so beautiful, so vintage, and they just really make you long for those December days. Thank you for coming along with me on this little tutorial, and I hope that you learned something. I know I just really enjoyed putting something Christmas together and working with these beautiful, beautiful pages. I'll see all of you in the next video. If you have any questions about anything that I said or that I did, please put it in the comments below, and I will try to answer them if possible.